sunny ways, my friends, sunny ways.
When the Trudeau Liberals were first elected in 2015, one of their announced priorities was to review Canada's existing defence policy. The result of that collective brainstorming was released in 2017 under the catchy title Strong, Secure, Engaged, or SSE for short. It's time to target what is the current state of political direction for the Canadian Armed Forces. This SSE blueprint was originally touted to be the Liberals' 20-year plan to provide the Canadian Armed Forces with the capabilities, equipment, and culture needed to anticipate and respond to threats and protect Canadians. However, just 5 years into the SSE era, the global security environment took an alarming turn when the Russian military invaded Ukraine.
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
In response to this perilous development, Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland announced in her Budget 2022 that a major review would be undertaken, complete with public consultation, to amend the existing SSE to better fit the deteriorating global security situation.
That is why we are making an immediate additional investment in our armed forces and propose a swift defense policy review to equip Canada for a world that has become more dangerous.
Despite the ongoing war in Ukraine and heightening tensions between China and Taiwan in the Western Pacific, it was not until March 2023 that the Department of National Defence and Canadian Armed Forces would actually launch public consultations on what is now termed the Defence Policy Update. The window for these outside public submissions was a relatively brief 6 weeks, with the deadline closing on 30 April 2023. Nearly a year later, the war in Ukraine still rages, the Middle East has exploded, Houthi pirates are running amok in the Red Sea, and China continues to rattle sabers with Taiwan. Yet still, the CAF awaits their new marching orders in the form of the long-awaited Defence Policy Update. In the interim, the leadership team at National Defence Headquarters must continue to tread water while struggling to meet the objectives of the now admittedly very out-of-date SSE.
See you in 2024.
In this regard, the CAF leaders have failed miserably. Due to a nearly 2-decade shortfall in recruiting, coupled with a failure to retain experienced service members, the Canadian military now faces a severe lack of personnel. The situation in the Royal Canadian Navy is so dire that an annual 2-ship deployment to West Africa was cancelled for 2024 due to a lack of qualified sailors. A shortage of fighter pilots has also resulted in Canada cancelling several international training exercises in 2023. For its part, the Army's challenged to conduct training as a result of Canada having donated a huge chunk of their weaponry and ammunition to the armed forces of Ukraine. That said, it's hard to simply blame the current crop of leaders if they are in turn awaiting a clear set of directions from the elected officials who govern our military. In fact, the tardiness of the Liberals releasing the Defence Policy Update may be a blessing in disguise. For instance, the war in Ukraine has demonstrated that the drone is the new queen of the modern battlefield, and that low-level air defense is the necessary protection for troops involved in a near-peer conventional warfare. Canada is currently sadly lacking in drones and totally bereft of a low-level air defense system. Given that we have a battle group forward deployed in Latvia, that might be the first priority item on the DPU's purchase list. Unfortunately, even when the much-anticipated DPU is finally released, it will undoubtedly fall short of what the CAF needs, and that is a complete makeover. Recommendations to fix the culture through new dress and deportment regulations and a few new pieces of kit will not put Humpty Dumpty back together again. That egg is broke, and what Canada needs is a whole new egg, not a bunch of horses and men mucking about in the old yoke. This has been On Target. I'm Scott Taylor.